Jessica Panayiotou explains how she engaged with the Binnies STEM Returners program and how she is now enjoying the next stage of her career as a project manager with the company.
Okay, it'd be good to start with just a little bit of background on your career to date. I guess the sort of, what you did education-wise, where you went in the workplace, and yeah, just the start of your career.
So I went to Nottingham Trent University and studied business management and economics for my undergrad. And then I did a master's in project management. So, which is because I wanted to become a project manager. And then I was pretty fortunate. I got a graduate scheme at the university for a project coordinator role. So I did that for just over a year and then applied for my first project coordinator role at EMR, where I stayed and got promoted to a project manager, which is where I was pre the STEM Returners program.
Okay, and in terms of any just sort of challenges you had along the way, was there anything that caused you any particular problems, or just normal work stuff, just how your career progressed?
I think it's probably fair to say that I haven't faced that many challenges, which is a good thing, but definitely becoming a project manager at the start of my career was a little bit difficult because they normally look for sector and industry experience along with project management skills, whereas I just have project management skills and don't have a particular industry experience. So finding my first role was pretty challenging, but then it was rewarding at the same time. So, and I ended up finding one, so it was good.
Yep. And in terms of I suppose the obvious thing, bearing in mind what we're talking about today, how did you get engaged with the Binnies STEM Returners program? And as I understand it, I mean, it's not a problem, but you aren't technically a returner, but you were obviously wanting to move your career in a different direction.
Yeah, I actually found the STEM Returners program on Indeed, and I applied through Indeed, and then STEM Returners got in contact with me individually. This wasn't actually the original role that I applied for. So I applied for a different role. I wasn't successful, and then the recruiter suggested the role at Binnies, and I went on to apply for that, and here I am.
Okay, so in terms of how the process worked, perhaps just in a bit more detail, you say you applied for it, but and then how did what one role wasn't suitable, or you didn't get that, and the next one, just how they engage with you engage with them, be good to understand a bit.
I think I can't speak more highly about STEM Returners, and the individual recruiter probably massively. She had a massive influence on how my experience was, and it was 100% positive. I actually worked as a recruiter during my placement year, and I've spoken to a number of recruiters, and I can say that this is probably the best experience I've ever had. In fact, I know it's the best experience. It was particularly tailored to me as an individual. She found a role that she thought was a really good fit for me, and she was persistent in keeping me engaged. So I would say that it was a very individualized process and very smooth going, to be honest.
Okay, and in terms of what it is you now do at Binnies, what's the role you've been landed with, and how have you progressed, developed? I guess it's fairly recently you arrived, but what's gone on since you arrived, if you like?
Yeah, so I came into the role with a 12-week contract as a project manager, and then about 6 weeks in, I got offered a permanent role, and now I'm fully embedded into the team, which is fantastic. But effectively, I'm a project manager for the asset management team, in particular operations and maintenance. So I sit across all of the projects in the operations and maintenance team and make sure that they're running smoothly, on time, to budget, all of those lovely project managery words.
And are we talking, sorry, specifically for the water industry, or I know Binnies, I think, does other bits, but is it water industry your focus, or across the different industries you're working on?
My focus is really just with whatever project lands on my desk with the team. So the majority of them currently are water biased. So yeah, but there's a lot of experienced technical guys in my team, which I'm pretty sure will put their hand to a lot of things. So I'm sure there'll be an influx of other opportunities.
And in terms, just since you've been there, I mean, once you were recruited, was that it? You just became, you became a member of staff and you were left on your own devices, or has there been any kind of ongoing interaction, if you like, with Binnies, just to check that you're happy, since they've recruited you, just to keep up?
Yeah, I would say that they have been they was amazing throughout the whole process. As soon as I got the role, they didn't stop contacting me. I think I've had 2 checkups since, just to make sure that I'm happy with the role. So STEM Returners really took an interest in how I made my way into the team, and if it was a good fit, and it really has been. And I would say that being offered a permanent role so early on has allowed me to really make a positive impact with the team. So I feel like I've managed to come in and do what they wanted me to do. So I think that's positive. I think it's great that I got offered a permanent role so early on. So it proves that the process works, because it really was a good fit.
And maybe just finally, in terms of other folks that might be in similar place in their career to where you were, etc., just any thoughts, any encouragement, experience you'd share as to in terms of this kind of program, or just more generally, if you think you're at a bit of a, not exactly dead end, but you're wanting to go in a different direction, just any experiences, thoughts you'd like to share?
I think, as cheesy as it sounds, that there is the perfect role out there for you, and using a program like STEM Returners means that you can find a role where you add value and where an employer really appreciates you. And that's what I've found, that this sector in particular has great opportunities for women and girls, and they value their growth and development. So I think keep going, and you will find a role. Don't settle, because that's what I didn't do. And I found myself out of work, and now I found myself a role where I'm really happy, and I feel like I'm giving something to the organisation. So
okay, that's lovely. I mean, it's been great to chat and share your insights on the program, and I hope you continue to enjoy life at Binnies. But for now, at least, Jess, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.